which is always my mantra, right? I'm always talking about advanced bookings because I think that's the best way to save them. That's what I call Aloha spirit. It's a world championship. It's 32 miles to cross the channel from Molokai to this part of Oahu on the east side. Aloha and welcome once again to another episode of the Hawaii Vacation Connection. My name's Bruce Fisher. Thanks very much for checking in with us. We got a great show for you today, as we do every Friday. We answer podcast and Twitter and social media questions. We'll also be talking a little bit about what's coming up this weekend and get you up to date with things that are happening in Hawaii. This podcast, it's brought to you by us. We're the owners of Hawaii Aloha Travel. You can catch us on the web at www.hawaii-aloha.com. You can also follow me on Twitter, also on Facebook. On Facebook, it's just hawaii.vacation, singular. And you can find me there. And if you have a question or comment, get it to me. If we answer that question, we're going to send you out a big bag of Hershey Macadamia Nut Kisses. Can you believe it? This is our 493rd podcast. This is October 28th, 2011. There's a lot happening if you're going to be coming here over the next couple of days for Halloween. We have a thing here, a huge thing, and it happens down in Chinatown. It's called Hullabaloo. And it's a 4-day event. It happens all over town. It goes from Aloha Tower waterfront to Chinatown, and it ends at Kaimana Beach. And it's a really organized event, and there's a lot happening. The first event was actually last night, but there's several other things happening. Tomorrow night, October 28th, you can go down to Aloha Marketplace, and there's a $25 general admission to get in there, and they have a huge Hullabaloo Electronica pre-party. So that's going to be exciting and fun. And then on the 29th, you can go over to the street festival. That's going to happen on Newton Wano. That's really where the big event is. It's right down in Chinatown, and people are just going crazy down there. So you want to check that out if you're going to be here over the weekend. I wanted to talk a little bit about is the craziness that's going to be going on for APEC. APEC, as you know, is coming, and we've been talking a lot about it. And there's going to be a lot of traffic and road closures and stuff like that. And I wanted to let everybody know we finally have a blog post up about that. So please get over to the blog, and you can see all the information about the closures that are going to be happening. We're going to be down there at APEC, and I'm wondering how we're actually even going to drive in there with all of the restrictions. And another thing I wanted to share with you, the day before yesterday, we found out about this brand new property. It's called Stay Hotels. Look at this little place. This is a budget property. This used to be student housing. Look at this. Look how cute it is. I don't know where they got this idea. A lot of white in here, but this used to be student housing, and now it's being converted to a budget property. We are going to be adding this to our inventory. We have rates starting at $69 a night. Okay? $69 a night. And that's for one of their smaller rooms. That's, I think, for this room. For $69 a night. Each of the rooms has a bathroom. They have facilities there. They have a nice lobby. Look at this lobby. They did a good job with the colors, and for a budget property, I think, you can't go wrong. And I always like new, and this is nice and brand new. So get a hold of me. We'll get you hooked up here at the Stay Hawaii. This is a new little budget property. Just opened the first week of October. And it's very, very quiet there. Another thing I wanted to share with you is, it's kind of funny. You'd think by now I would have been to the new Pearl Harbor Visitor Center. Well, I hadn't gone to the Pearl Harbor Visitor Center. I wanted to check it out and see the improvements that they made there. For those of you who've been here and have gone to Pearl Harbor, over the years, that visitor center has gotten, it was getting pretty raggy. I don't know what you would call it. It was getting pretty run down, so to speak. And they renovated, multi-million-dollar renovation, and here's what it looks like. We went down and we checked it out. I love these flags in the front. I don't know, I just love those flags, just flying together there. This is a picture of the visitor center. It's newer, more modern. It has curves to it. Inside, you can see people coming in and out. It's a much bigger facility. Things are more organized. When you go in, it's very easy to, store your luggage and stuff, which you have to do. You can't go in there, but everything is a lot easier and easier accessible. They have some wonderful exhibits there. Of course, you can go visit the Arizona Memorial. So big improvement there. And you definitely, and you know what, I also think they move the crowds a lot better. And you know, I've always recommended, and I still recommend, that you get to Pearl Harbor as early as possible. But in being there a couple of times now in the afternoons, and you know, between 10 and 2 o'clock, I see you can still get in there. Now, of course, it's not the busy time right now, but you still can get in there and see stuff if you don't get there early in the morning. You can still get on the Arizona Memorial, you know, trip and ride. So hopefully you'll be able to do that. There's some pictures, and hopefully that helps you out. Let's get to some of the questions that have come in. First one is from Michael. He says, is there any skydiving on Kauai or Maui? And I can't seem to find any anywhere. And you know, that's a great question. I didn't know the answer to that. When we think of skydiving in Hawaii, we're usually talking about here on Oahu. There's a couple of outfits that do it, mostly on the North Shore. That's where they run it out of Dillingham Airfield out there. And great skydiving up there, and in fact a couple of our agents have been on it, and we did a whole blog post about it again on our blog page. Check that out. If you haven't seen our blog, please get over there. It's got so much great information about Hawaii. We update it every single day, provide content. But there is one on Kauai, Kauai Skydivers, and there's going to be a link on my podcast page. Go check them out. I don't know a lot about them, but that was the only other island we can find that has skydiving on it on a regular basis. So you want to check that out. Skydive Kauai. Okay, that's pretty much it for that question. And of course, we're going to send you out a big bag of macadamia Hershey Nut Kisses. If you have a question, get them to me, and we'll send you this out. Next question we got here is from Darcy. She wants to know if she can drive herself up to Haleakala, or will they have to take a tour? You can drive yourself up to Haleakala. That's really not a problem. You can do it, but you may want to consider taking a tour, because driving it is not an easy thing to do. And you know, especially for the person driving. You know, very often when I'm here and I'm going sightseeing with places, I have to do the driving, or I'm taking people, I have to do the driving. It's such a relief when you don't have to be the driver, and you can sit and take in and enjoy the scenery and the things around you without having to drive. So I recommend the tours, and there's several tours that we recommend, but there is a driving tour that you can take, and again, I will get all of this up on our website so you can check that out. But the short answer is you can do it either way. We recommend taking the tour. Next question comes in from Sheila. She wants to know what the difference is between bulk and published air, because we talk a lot about that here, and it's a good question. We really should get into that a little bit. When you're booking airfare, there's two ways you can do it when you're working with a company like us. Now, we're a company that strictly focuses on Hawaii, and what we're also focused on is getting the best possible deal and the most bang for your buck. And the way we do that is looking at two types of airfare: bulk airfare and also published airfare. Published airfares are the airfares you're seeing everywhere. They are the ones that you can find on Kayak or going to directly to the airlines themselves. In fact, that's where the name published airfare comes from. It's the published air that the airlines publish. Simple as that. They're published everywhere. And usually, and sometimes you can get good rates that way. And another way you can get good rates is with bulk airfare. Now, bulk airfare you can only get with companies like us, because what we do is we go out there and we take a gamble. Okay, we say, hey, you know what? We think, it's kind of like playing the stock market. We think during this period of time, from X to X, we think, you know, your airfare is worth that amount of money, and we block and we actually pre-purchase this airfare. Okay? And what that does is it does two things. First of all, it locks in what we think, based on what we know about the business and the trends, is a great airfare that anybody can get. And the second thing that bulk airfare does, it allows us to give you lots of time to pay for it. You know how, like, when you go and you book something online, you go to Expedia, you go to Travelocity, and you keep checking every day because you know you don't have the money, and then when you finally get the money, the friggin' airfare isn't there, or it's the wrong schedule, or it's something like that, or one thing is wrong or this thing is wrong, and who are you going to call? You call them up, you get India or something, it's a frustrating thing. It really is. Especially if you're planning a trip to Hawaii, which, you don't do every day, right? So this bulk airfare gives you a lot more flexibility. So you want to try and book in bulk if you can, and with a company like ours. I'm not saying we're the only ones who do it, but we're pretty sure that we're the best at it. And one of the reasons why we think we're the best at it is because we're right here. All of us are here, and this is all we're focused on. We know where all those deals are. Perhaps you could find those deals on your own too, but we already know where they are, so it can save you a lot of time and effort as well. So that hopefully explains it. Published means that's the rate you're going to see everywhere. Bulk are pre-purchased air tickets that companies like us and wholesalers get a hold of, and that's how we resell those tickets to you guys. So hopefully that answers your question. Now we got one more question here, and it's from Patty. And this is another great question. Do hotels, condos, etc. ever provide transportation from the airport to the hotel? We get this a lot, and it reminded me that we really don't, we haven't really talked about that much. And the truth is that no, most of the hotels, especially condos never do it. There are a couple of exceptions to that, and I'll tell you what those exceptions are. But no, you have to get your transportation from your hotel from the airport to the hotel. And I think the reason for that is on Oahu it's one thing, but on the other islands, usually the properties you're going to be staying at are not very close to the airport. So it's really not that easy to do. And it's never been something that the hotels do here. Now, there are a couple luxury hotels that do it. I know that Trump does it. I know that there's a couple of other hotels. I know that the Edition used to do it. I don't know if the Modern is doing it now in Waikiki. I believe the Park has it. I believe the Halekulani. Some of the 5-star properties have this available, but you know what? I think you'll end up paying for it in the long run. It's not free. Now, over on Kauai, there is one property that I know of that does the transportation, and it's not a 5-star property, and that's the Kauai Beach Resort Hotel, which does have free transportation. So hopefully that answers your question as well. Wow, I've been long-winded today, but I had to get all of this out. There was a lot to share with you. Don't forget, we do this every Friday at 10 o'clock Hawaii time, and we have a live stream, and we have folks in the live stream right now, and you can ask questions there, and we can talk about it there. There's also agents there that you can interact with, and people that are from Hawaii that are hanging out in our chat room, and we can talk about anything that you want live on the show, or take the questions and answer them at another time. Don't forget to download our app, Hawaii Aloha. It's on Android, it's on BlackBerry, it's on iPhone. Download that, and also stay in touch with us on Twitter. I'm at Aloha Bruce on Twitter. That's going to wrap it up. For my beautiful wife, Yaling, who's taking the day off here, she had to do some work before we went on. And all of us here at Hawaii Aloha Travel will say aloha and mahalo.